doing my Zappa Zen today, where I share with you guys a little bit of wisdom of what's been on my mind, what I'm reading, and some of the practices that I have used that have helped me over my life as well. So what I'm going to be sharing today is kind of about the warrior spirit, and cultivating courage. So what I have here is a book called The Warrior of Light by Paulo Coelho. Pretty awesome. And I have a passage that I wanted to share with you guys today that really speaks to the warrior spirit. So the most important quality on the spiritual path is courage. The world seems threatening and dangerous to cowards. They seek the false security of a life with no major challenges and arm themselves to teeth in order to defend what they think they possess. Cowards end up making the bars of their own prison. The warrior of light projects his thoughts beyond the horizon. He knows that if he does not do anything for the world, no one else will. So he fights the good fight and he helps others, even though he does not quite understand why. And part of that is diving into the unknown. At least that's what's coming up for me, is diving into the unknown, even though we don't always have full clarity on which direction to move forward in life. We can move forward with courage when we don't have that clarity. Through courage and faith, we're saying that even though I don't understand what my plan is going forward, I don't have a certain formula for how I'm going to help the world, how I'm going to serve my mission, how I'm going to serve my gifts with the world. Through courage and faith, what we are projecting into the world is our vision of a better world, of which is already here. So essentially what we're doing is sharing that, having the courage to share that. And for myself, I have been one that has deeply resonated with the warrior spirit through sports, through just having the courage to engage in conversations that I wouldn't have otherwise have had if I would have stepped back into that role of cowardice. Definitely speaks to the habits that you want to cultivate. What kind of habits do you want to cultivate? And truly being able to embody courage is a day-to-day practice that becomes easier with momentum. So one of the practices that I love to do is going out hiking and using the mountain, using my journey when I'm hiking as a tool for being able to transmute those energies of fear, those energies of what I would call limiting beliefs, and transmute those into more powerful ones of courage. So, there's a lot of points. I remember one point when I was hiking with a buddy and we're almost at the top of the mountain, and there's this small little ledge that you have to go over on the mountain in order to get onto the peak, where you can climb up on the ridge to get up to the peak. And we had sat there for about 10 or 15 minutes because there was a fear. There was fear of the death. And fear of death is a powerful one that we can transmute as well. And what had happened is we had sat there for about 10 minutes, and I mean, like, there's older people passing by, there's little kids, everyone passing by, and I was sitting there trying to play it cool when in deep down, I was experiencing those feelings of sadness in the cowardness because I knew deep down in my core that I was so much more powerful, that I had the courage. And both my friend and I, we both asked each other, if we turn around now and we don't go up and we don't go make it all the way up to the peak, how is this going to impact the rest of our life? Are we going to continue to choose to not go after the things that we want? Are we going to choose to give more power to our fears and to our courage? So that was one of the biggest turning points in my life, because we decided to go up on the ledge and confront that fear, and to cultivate habits of courage. And you can have different levels of that as well. You can cultivate smaller habits and build that up into larger habits. So for example, if you're trying to cultivate a self-care kind of habit, something that you could do is more breathing practices. You could even brush your teeth or take a shower. And that's kind of one of the smaller levels, one of the smaller habits that you would start with to build up momentum. And then as you progress even more into the self-care habit, one of the bigger things that you could do is get a massage, take a vacation, treat yourself in whichever way. So same thing happens when we do acts of courage as well. So going out into the mountains, that is a powerful, potent tool for transmuting those energies and cultivating those habits of courage. And it's been one of the most powerful ones in my life for being able to cultivate that, because you're infusing with that the fear of death as well. So with that in mind, I have another cool passage that I wanted to share with you guys from a book called Shambhalaya, The Sacred Path of the Warrior. The warrior. I'm a warrior. So we got this one passage that speaks once again to the space around us, and also to the archetype of the coward. So the warrior fundamentally is someone who is not afraid of space. The coward lives in a constant terror of space. When the coward is alone and in the forest and doesn't hear a sound, he thinks that there's a ghost lurking somewhere. In the silence, he begins to bring up all kinds of monsters and demons in his mind. The coward is afraid of darkness because he can't see anything. He's afraid of silence. He can't hear anything. Cowardice is turning the unconditional into a situation of fear by inventing reference points or conditions of all kinds. But for the warrior, unconditionally does not have to be conditioned or limited. It does not have to be qualified as either positive or negative, but it can just be neutral, as it is. Yeah, so I would invite you to ask yourself what's coming up for you right now when you hear that. For myself, I become caught up in the fear of the space that we're in. And so same thing happens when I'm out hiking and I'm in, even if I'm not going to the top of the mountain, sometimes if I am walking through the forest, you're thinking of the bear, you're thinking of the mountain lion. And that's why going out into nature is such a powerful tool, because you also connect to that primal nature of who you are. And you tap into some of those fears that have been constant in our evolution as Homo sapiens, right? So those are some of the fears that will come up for hiking and whatnot. And to be able to cultivate courage and equanimity in the face of those things, and to really truly align yourself and bring yourself into the nowness of the moment. And like what they said before, to be in that space of neutrality. So for anyone watching right now, I would definitely encourage you to send me a message this summer, and from now on, I'm going to be offering a lot of coaching services where I can guide you in how to come into that state of equanimity, how to navigate through some of these perceived fears and dissolve and destroy those limiting beliefs. And we use nature as a beautiful tool for being able to transmute those energies into more powerful ones, such as courage, clarity, purposefulness, and learning how to navigate your emotions and how to cultivate more mindfulness so that you show up in the world more powerfully and with more presence. So using nature as a wonderful teacher, one of the most beautiful teachers that teaches you in a fierce, loving way where you can experience that freedom. So definitely send me a message if you're interested in cultivating even more courage in your life so that you can have more clarity as well. And who doesn't love enjoying some time out in nature as well? It's not always about that warrior spirit. It's also about cultivating that lover archetype as well, and enjoying your surrounding and enjoying the mindfulness and soaking in and bathing in the beauty of your surroundings as well. But going back to the warrior archetype as well, and talking about the king archetype as well, there's another cool passage in here. We got about 4 minutes left in the Zappa Zen, so thanks guys for staying with me on this one. So one of the, out of that, and they're talking about exposing some of your wounds, being vulnerable with the world and taking off the armor. So out of that comes an extraordinary birth, the birth of the universal monarch. The Shambhala definition of the monarch is someone who is very raw and sensitive, willing to open his or her heart to others. That is how you become a king or a queen, the ruler of your world. The way to rule the universe is to expose your heart so that others can see your heart beating, see your red flesh, and see the blood pulsating through your veins and arteries. Boom. Can you guys see the veins popping through? Nah. So ordinarily, we think of a king in the negative sense as someone who holds himself apart from others, hiding in his palace and creating a kingdom to shield himself from the world. Here we are speaking of opening yourself to other humans in order to promote human welfare. The monarch's power in the Shambhala world comes from being very soft. It comes from opening your heart so that you share your heart with others. You have nothing to hide. No suit of armor. Your experience is naked and direct. It is even beyond naked. It is raw, uncooked. This is the fruition of warriorship, the complete primordial realization of basic goodness. At that level, there's absolutely no doubt about basic goodness, or therefore about yourself. Much love, everyone. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this and you feel even a little bit revitalized after watching this, then hit the like button and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys and I appreciate your support. So thank you very much. And if you have your own vitality journey that you would love to share, or if you would love to join a community of people who are on their own vitality journey, then hit the link in the description below to my website, tyronemorales.com, and join a tribe of vitality superstars. Thanks again, guys, for watching, and have a day full of vitality. Much love.